everybody. Welcome to this edition of the broadcast where we give you bite-sized bits of best practices to help you be a better leader and a more effective communicator. I'm your host, Gerard Braud. I'm going to share my slide with you so that you know what our topic is today. Our topic is, how do you make a strong case for crisis communications planning with your boss? I get asked all the time from people, how do I get my boss to comprehend that we need a crisis communications plan? So I'm going to give you two examples of how you can make your case. The first example is to look at the industry that you're in and identify other things within your line of work, within your company, within the business, within the organization, whether it's government, school, power, chemical, whatever your business is. Look at that organization and determine where else there are policy and procedure manuals that tell people exactly what they should do in certain situations. Communications is no different. On the day of the crisis, you can't figure it out. Now, many members of executive teams will ask that question. Why can't we just get everybody in a room on the day of the event and we'll just hash it out? Well, you don't have time to do that. And if you believe you have time to do that, you are misinformed, especially in an age of social media where people are broadcasting live on Facebook as something is happening. You don't have time to figure it out on the day of the crisis. So your business case to them needs to be that just as other organizations. So let's take a chemical plant, for example. If a chemical plant has a chlorine leak, the health, safety, and environmental team, they have policies and procedures. They have written plans, and they're plans that get practiced so that the people in the field and the people in the control room know how to stop the leak and contain whatever they can so the community is not affected, and so that people inside the facility don't get hurt, and so that the production of the facility doesn't go down, and so the company doesn't lose money. Written policies and procedures. You need that for crisis communications, just as the people managing the chlorine need it for their situation. I'm going to share my slides with you again and give you the second example of how to make a case. And it begins with a vulnerability assessment. Now, you've probably heard me talk about the 5 steps to effective crisis communications. If you don't know what they are, go to my website, Braud, B-R-A-U-D, communications.com. There's a free 5-part class, video class that tells you 5 parts. But the first one is vulnerability assessment. So the second way you can make a business case to your boss for a strong crisis planning is to do a vulnerability assessment. Sit with your C-suite, sit with your executive team, and make a list of all the things that could happen that could escalate to a crisis. And I define a crisis as an event that escalates to the point at which it affects your reputation and revenue. Talk dollars and cents. That's what gets their attention. Then just take any one of those things and look at the price tag of the damage that could be caused to your revenue and allot that amount of money to your 5 steps to effective crisis communications. Just one of them. Your crisis communications plan and your library of pre-written statements should pay for itself in a single instance. The first time you use it is probably going to pay for that effort. So vulnerability assessment will help you make that case. Now, one thing you have to be ready for is when you use my examples with your boss is probably, possibly going to say, why don't you do this yourself? You're a PR pro. That's what we hired you for. Your answer needs to be, yes, we can do it. It requires a lot of expertise and it takes a lot of time. How much time does it take? Well, look at the plan I license to people. My plans are about 60 pages long with 100 to 150 pre-written news releases, depending on the industry. It took me 4,000 hours to get what I have. 4,000 hours. That's 2 years worth of work, working 40 hours a week. So you can tell your boss, sure, we can do it. I need you to take everything off my plate for the next 2 years so I can do this. Of course, a crisis could happen between now and then. Or you can say, yes, it'll take 2 years to do, and we will need to hire a new person. May I have the budget for that? So you've got those two options. Third option, shameless plug. You can always call me and I can have it done for you in 2 days. But ultimately, you need to make a case to your boss, because even when I promise that I can deliver $4,000 worth or 4,000 hours worth of work to people in 2 days, bosses will still ask the question, why do we need it? And the reason you need it is it's going to save you money. Might also save you lives. It's going to save you lives. It's going to save you time. It's going to save you money. Ultimately, when you talk to your boss in dollars and cents, it makes sense. For the broadcast, I'm Gerard Braud.